The story of Jamal Harrison Bryant is a very interesting one. He's a very talented pastor, a speaker of the Word of God. And of course, the power to preach a perfect God is usually given to imperfect men. But of course, we will forgive some mistakes for our leaders as Christians. It's just, how many of those mistakes do you need? If you're going to profess to be a leader of the Word of God, you should at least try very hard to look good for the Christian brand that you are trying to represent. After all, nobody made you get into the pulpit. But that's not the case with Jamal Harrison Bryant. He's always had a track record of doing the wrong thing.
Several years ago, all of a sudden, you're on TBN.
Yes.
And folks are saying, oh, he's the next great preacher.
Right.
You're being called by churches left and right.
Yeah.
And here you are, a young pastor.
Yes.
Thriving, growing church, and all of a sudden, those temptations meet you head on.
Well, I didn't have a litmus test. You have to understand, I was a national televangelist since I was 29, and the whole world had opened up for me. In every stage, I'm preaching in arenas, convention centers, mass mega churches, was quickly becoming a household name. So nothing in my mind ever said, one, I would ever get caught. Number two, that my wife would ever leave. Number three, that my church would tank out.
Walk us through. What happened?
I stepped rolling outside of my marriage and had a extramarital affair that ultimately ended in a divorce to an incredibly wonderful woman.
This interview happened a few years after he lost his first wife. But did you think that this would have changed things? Nope, it didn't change things. His wife, Jamal Bryant, left, and they were married from 2002 and 2009. He was supposed to learn a lesson from that, but fast forward! Then there was 2016, where he met up with this chick by the name of LaToya Odom. Now, Pastor Bryant wanted to see what was up with her. Did he want to make her his wife? But he did want to clap those cheeks. And clap those cheeks he did. Booty clapping sounds! Then something happened. She came up pregnant. This was another strike against Jamal Harrison Bryant. But we couldn't be sure that it was his kid until we got this news.
When she asked about, what he wanted to do, what he was going to do, he told her to abort the child. That's what she said. She's saying that he wanted her to get an abortion. She refused, and she gave birth to this child in July, John Karsten Bryant. Now, she has documents that she says support this. It's a paternity test that was carried out by LB Genetics and sent to Odom on August the 12th, 2015. Now, LB Genetics is a DNA testing facility in California, specializing in paternity, family relationships, human identification testing, and the such. So they're a real company. It's the real deal. We have the documents. You can go to radioonfire.com. We have the documents there that you can see. Several documents. So LB Genetics was contacted. One of the workers would only identify herself as Dolores. She didn't want to give out her last name. I get it. She said that she could not give any information regarding the testing or the person's names because that's a violation of privacy. You have HIPAA and all of that good stuff. So she couldn't necessarily go into detail about it. But we do have the documents. The documents are out there.
Yeah, bruh. Sorry.
You are the father.
That's right, man. That's your kid. But then, in talking about LaToya Odom, this is a very interesting question we'd like to know.
So I do want to say this. Jamal Bryant, if you got someone pregnant that maybe you weren't too happy to get pregnant. Let's say that somebody else, because this lady has a child, let's say that a rapper, right, got, Superhead pregnant, right? If a rapper got Superhead pregnant, maybe he might not want to claim that, right? Is this woman, is she the Superhead of the religious community? I don't know.
Good question, mate. That's actually a good question because, well, I found this particular interview.
They didn't even know. They didn't know until now. And I'm going to bring that around. So when Jamal and I reconnected this last time in October 2015, he called Greg and was like, Greg, yo, she's...
Now, see, this interview was conducted by a guy by the name of Sir William McCrae, and he has a show called Obnoxious Exclusive Interview. This was done many, many years ago, May 6, 2016. But let's see what the author put up here. He says this: exclusive interview with LaToya Odom, the mother of Jamal Harrison Bryant's 9-month-old son, tells all. Now, basically, this was at this time, the child is almost 9 years old now. Plus how she was paid by Bishop Greg Davis for a year for sexual favors. Additionally, she told me how Luther McKinstry tried to pay her on Jamal's behalf to go away. So wait a minute, Jamal Harrison Bryant. You're out here clapping cheeks for a church 304 and you got her pregnant by hitting it with no condom? But wait, it gets worse. Fast forward! So Jamal Harrison Bryant continues on with his career. He has this child out of wedlock. He's a deadbeat father to the child. Then in 2018, an opportunity comes knocking on the door. Despite his sexual immorality, the New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Stonecrest, Georgia decides to make him the pastor after having a child that's less than 3 years old out of wedlock. Let's give them a round of applause. This is a great way to reward people who are not actually doing the right thing. But now Jamal Harrison Bryant moves on again. Fast forward! After years of clapping cheeks illegally with Dr. Karri Turner, he actually marries her. I've already covered that and we already understand what that's all about. Dr. Karri Turner is the female preacher and co-pastor of New Birth, who's also known as the BBL booty clapper of Atlanta, Georgia in the pulpit. She actually is the female pastor with the BBL. And Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant couldn't wait to wife up those cheeks. They must be magnificent. But stop the show. Before he took a trip out of the country, he was supposed to be in child support court because his baby mama, Miss Odom, wants to raise her child support for a few reasons. One of the reasons is because she's not making as much money at the time that this particular court order was, coming about. And this is another reason.
So this worksheet was presented after I lost my job. And not only that, all this evidence is not even true because I don't even make that much. That's number one. And then number two, my son has autism. We just found that out as well. And as much as trouble, it's his behavior on the spectrum of autism. And so for the last 3 years, I've even given that to the state of Texas. The behavior has gotten so bad that I'm really coming off my job.
So the child has autism. So not only is Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant a deadbeat, he's a deadbeat to a child with autism, right? Then the judge says this.
I'm actually kind of bothered that he's not here because he did not have notice. He did not have the excuse of the court. The court did not relieve him. And so he actually should be here. And the fact that he isn't here actually is that's a warrant. A warrant should be issued for him not being present, to be honest with you. Because it's not right.
So he missed the court date and was supposed to be there. She could have put a warrant out for his arrest. But wait, it gets worse.
Why Texas? When I just went back, when I looked at
the case. Yeah, so I had to move. Yeah, I've moved 4 times because he has bothered me. So in Georgia, when my address was on there, they took hinges off my door. They have moved someone in across the way. These are his friends. So I had to move to Florida with my grandmother. When I moved to Florida with my grandmother, then he sent his cousin there. I had to move from Florida. And then I finally went to Texas. I came to Texas. He vetted my He vetted my residence. People, they have towed my car. They have slandered my tires. I mean, I have been through the ringer with this man, and he's pretending like, oh, I'm on the stage just preaching. You're not. You are really trying to negate the fact that to meet you and to see and to say, hey, this is my truth. And I need more money now because of my son. And I had lost my job. Now, mind you, I just got a new job. All this is new information. They don't want to talk to me. Every time I talk to Texas, they say, oh, well, Georgia has 90 days to respond. Then when I'll have no days to respond, it's always, well, Georgia laws are this. I mean, they have taken me through the ringer for 4 years, Judge.
So she alleges that Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant has been basically stalking her and sending people to do bad things to her in every place that she goes. Florida, Texas, just making her life miserable. But the reality is that Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant doesn't want to take care of his responsibilities. He makes over $46,000 a month, and he's complaining about paying child support and about $2,300 a month. Now, here's the real thing that I want to talk about. Jamal Harrison Bryant, who is held in such great esteem by some in the Black community, is nothing more but a pastor Pookie who loves to clap BBL cheeks in Atlanta and not wear condoms. But at the same time, this is the same guy out here denigrating Black men for voting for Donald Trump, telling Black men what they should be doing, when you can't even take care of the child that you made out of wedlock while committing a sin, and then you try to basically deny the kid for so long. And this is crazy because he's being exposed. I guess going on vacation with a chick with the BBL is much more important than taking care of your kid. Well, guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shady Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe with the bell. We're out.